Good morning. Welcome to the Afro Latina Show. I am your host, Alicia Anabel Santos, La Diosa Dominicana, La Santera. Welcome to episode 90, the truth about insecurity and the search for self-love. So if I'm being really honest and transparent, today I am in a really bad mood. I'm a little bit frustrated by some things happening in my life. So I have some agitation, right? Some very personal things that I don't have control over, but that frustrate me because I don't have any control over. So there's one being that someone in my family, someone in my life that I love dearly. My brother is sick. He's been diagnosed with cancer. And so I'm trying to navigate that, my anger and frustration around that. And trying to process that and what it is that I can realistically do. And then there's someone else in my life who I'm angry about the choices that they're making. And it's interesting because we should be leaning back and not imposing our beliefs and expectations. So I can admit, and I will own as I start this diary, the fact that I am judgmental. And I have been imposing my beliefs in a place or in ways that may not be my business too, but I'm frustrated. And I'm frustrated around this idea of weak women. I'm going to get a lot of hate about that, but I'm feeling a type of way about weak women because I know that we are not weak. I know that we are built with a tremendous amount of strength. And so when I use the term weak women, and I know some people may feel triggered by that, I want you to understand that where I'm coming from right now, Jules, where I'm coming from right now, I'm frustrated because this person is someone that I love, and I'm seeing the choices that she's making as weak. And I know that the strength that is required to pull ourselves out, it requires so much faith and so much work to undo those things. So I'm frustrated by the weakness. I'm frustrated by the lack of strength. And I don't know what to do. So I will say that I have not been living, well, I certainly was not living under the 4 agreements. I was definitely not impeccable with my word. I was absolutely judgmental. And I had this like blowout fight with this person that I love about the choices that she's making. And I need to take a pause. So today is dedicated to this person that I love so much because I definitely owe her an apology for coming so hard. And the reason why I was coming so hard is because there are certain things that are triggers for me around being taken advantage of and abuse. Period. Those are triggers for me. And so when I see someone that I love going through certain things, the warrior in me, wants to throw down at the showdown, at the hoedown, and go to bat. So I want her to know that I love her and that I'm sorry and that I know that I need to check myself. And so let's get into the 4 agreements in the last sections of the book. First, I want to say Don Miguel Ruiz, the author of the 4 agreements, actually liked my images on my Instagram yesterday. So that felt really good to feel connected to him, to have some love. So shout out to Don Miguel Ruiz, who has written some books that are just amazing and lovely and have helped me so much over the years, over so many years. And so let's jump to this section. So these are some of the notes that I wrote this morning. The first thing that I wrote and why I'm recording the show is the anger, right? And being a judge. So I understood that to be, a sign of, Alicia, slow down, stop being judgmental, let people live their lives and let people come to their healing on their own. So I want to sit with that. But page 119 is the discipline of the warrior, controlling your own behavior. And I'm just going to read. Imagine that you awake early one morning, overflowing with enthusiasm for the day. You feel good, you are happy, and have plenty of energy to face the day. Then at breakfast, you have a big fight with your spouse, and a flood of emotion comes out. You get mad, and in the emotion of anger, you spend a lot of personal power. After the fight, you feel drained and you want to go and cry. In fact, you feel so tired that you go to your room, collapse, and try to recover. You spend the day wrapped up in your emotions. You have no energy to keep going, and you just want to walk away from everything. Every day, we awake with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy that we spend throughout the day. If we allow our emotions to deplete our energy, we have no energy to change our life or to give to others. The way you see the world will depend upon the emotions you are feeling. When you are angry, everything around you is wrong. Nothing is right. You blame everything, including the weather, whether it's raining or the sun is shining. Nothing pleases you. When you are sad, everything around you is sad and makes you cry. You see the trees and you feel sad. You see the rain and everything looks so sad. Perhaps you feel vulnerable and have a need to protect yourself because you don't know in what moment someone will attack you. You do not trust anything or anyone around you. This is because you see the world with the eyes of fear. I'm going to jump. He talks a lot about being infected, right? And so on page 121, can you imagine how we would behave with each other if all the humans in the world had this skin disease? Of course, we would hardly ever hug each other because it would be too painful. So we would need to create a lot of distance between us. The human mind is exactly like the description of infected skin. Every human has an emotional body completely covered with infected wounds. Each wound is infected with emotional poison, the poison of all the emotions that makes us suffer, such as hate, anger, envy, sadness. An action of injustice opens a wound in the mind, and we react with emotional poison because of the concepts and beliefs we have about injustice and what is fair. The mind is so wounded and full of poison by the process of domestication that everyone describes the wounded mind as normal. This is considered normal, but I can tell you it is not normal. So yeah, I'm wounded, surrounded by many wounded souls, right? And so I can own that I responded to someone that I loved yesterday really hard because I'm hoping that she connect to her strength. So what I'm realizing today is this, that I don't control shit. That's the truth. I want so much for so many people. Like I want us all to feel like we're enlightened and we're all, we're all finding self-love and self-care. And my deepest desire is that we all live our best selves. I do want that for all of us. But I need to worry about me. And what I know to be true today is that I am still in recovery. And one of the things that I just like a few seconds ago realized is that I have been in recovery for 25 years. I have been in recovery since the day my daughter was born. Because one of the things that I needed to understand was the biggest, when we talk with my daughter and I talk a lot about mommy and daddy issues and all of the women in our life. We talk about my sisters, my mother, my grandmother, aunts, like women in relation to men in a Dominican household. So believe me, the conversations that Courtney and I have had are incredibly fucking deep. And so one of the things that we talked about this week was her mommy issues and my mommy issues. And, I was laying in bed and I'm like, so I haven't really, it's interesting to be someone who's self-aware, but also who lives in denial. Because I could admit that there are moments that I live in denial too. I'm human. And so I'm like, so what are my mommy issues? She's like, I don't know. You tell me. What are your mommy issues? She's so rude. And I understood that a lot of my insecurities are part of my mommy issues. And me being in recovery is me being on this path to self-love. And so this fight that I had with someone that I love was around me wanting her to see the beauty in her, wanting her to see so badly her self-worth. Because I have had to fight for that shit for 25 fucking years, yo. For 25 fucking years, I have been reading texts, studying, watching videos, listening to audios, going to talks, becoming a writer, connecting to my spirit, to my soul, getting still, doing yoga, meditating, everything, different religions, studying different practices, all on this journey of undoing a lot of that shit that is the poison that lives inside me. So for as much as I am living very healthy right now, and I am doing so many beautiful things in my life, that fucking poison is still in my veins. And I can't say that I have the fix it, the remedy, the method to fucking extract it. The only thing that I can hope is that the beautiful things that I'm feeding myself with, like the 4 agreements and recording my diary daily, that these are the things that will undo all of that poison and help to heal some of those wounds. And so, yeah, let me read another excerpt because I found something else that was a gem. Forgiveness, yo. Forgiveness is the only way to heal. We can choose to forgive because we feel compassion for ourselves. We can let go of the resentment and declare, that's enough. I will no longer be the big judge that goes against myself. I will no longer beat myself up and abuse myself. I will no longer be the victim. First, we need to forgive our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our friends, and God. Once you forgive God, you can finally forgive yourself. Once you forgive yourself, the self-rejection in your mind is over. Self-acceptance begins, and the self-love will grow so strong that you will finally accept yourself just the way you are. That's the beginning of the free human. Forgiveness is the key. You will know you have forgiven someone when you see them and you no longer have an emotional reaction. You will hear the name of the person and you will have no emotional reaction. When someone can touch what used to be a wound and it no longer hurts you, then you know you have truly forgiven. The truth is like a scalpel. The truth is painful because it opens all of the wounds which are covered by lies so that we can be healed. These lies are what we call the denial system. It's a good thing we have the denial system because it allows us to cover our wounds and still function. But once we no longer have any wounds or any poison, we don't need to lie anymore. We don't need the denial system because a healthy mind, like healthy skin, can be touched without hurting. It's pleasurable for the mind to be touched when it is clean. The problem with most people is that they lose control of their emotions. It is the emotions that control the behavior of the human, not the human who controls the emotions when we lose control. Yeah, I felt that in the pit of my stomach. There's so much that I still have to forgive in myself and the people in my life. It's hard because I'm Dominican every single day. And so one of the things that I know I need to heal from is my relationship to Dominican men and our gender issues. And I don't think that I've fully ever explored that and written it and forgiven it and let it go. And so when it comes to abuse, assault, being violated, being disrespected, there's a lot of shit that I carry around that I have not healed from, that I've put a Band-Aid on, and I live in this world. And so I'm always looking for peace. So I'm always looking for a way to speak in a more loving way because The old Alicia would have just punched somebody in the fucking face with a quickness. Yeah, I'm with you, Angie. Harboring resentment is poison. It's poison. We're holding on to this shit that is, first of all, it's not even ours. They put that shit on us. And so this last section that I want to share is, how are we to become a warrior? There are certain characteristics of the warrior that are nearly the same around the world. The warrior has awareness. That's very important. We are aware that we are at war, and the war in our minds requires discipline. Not the discipline of a soldier, but the discipline of a warrior. Not the discipline from the outside to tell us what to do and what not to do, but the discipline to be ourselves no matter what. The warrior has control, not control over another human, but control over one's own emotions, control over one's own self. It is when we lose control that we repress the emotions, not when we are in control. The big difference between a warrior and a victim is that the victim represses and the warrior refrains. Victims repress because they are afraid to show the emotions, afraid to say what they want to say. To refrain is not the same thing as repression. To refrain is to hold the emotions and to express them in the right moment, not before, not later. That is why warriors are impeccable. They have complete control over their own emotions and therefore over their own behavior. Ouch! Listen, this is a lifetime. This is a lifetime of learning to control my emotions. I know for me personally, I have always been someone who is reactionary. And I was always someone who didn't think before she spoke and was quick to rage. And so it has taken me years and years to namaste myself, to really get still and listen to my heart and see where it is, what's at the root of this anger and explosion that wants to come up. What's at the root of it. And for the most part, I'm always triggered by being disrespected or something from my past. Respect is a very big deal for me. And so anytime I have ever felt disrespected has been, the cause for so many of my explosions, because I want to be heard. When you're someone who people have tried to invisibilize, you fight back. And the child in me isn't having it. She's not. And so he ends with the initiation of the dead. And so the warrior, I think building to the warrior, this is the work, like the things that we can control. And so we'll meditate on that at the end, but I do want to share this last excerpt because this is where I'm at today. The initiation of the dead, embracing the angel of death. The final way to attain personal freedom is to prepare ourselves for the initiation of the dead, to take death itself as our teacher. What the angel of death can teach us is how to truly be alive. We become aware that we can die at any moment. We have just the present to be alive. The truth is that we don't know if we are going to die tomorrow. Who knows? We have the idea that we have many years in the future, but do we? If we go to the hospital and the doctor tells us that we have 1 week to live, what are we going to do? As we have said before, we have two choices. One is to suffer because we are going to die and to tell everyone, poor me, I'm going to die, and really create a huge drama. The other choice is to use every moment to be happy, to do what we really enjoy doing. If we only have 1 week to live, let's enjoy life. Let's be alive. We can say, I'm going to be myself. No longer am I going to run my life trying to please other people. No longer am I going to be afraid of what they think about me. What do I care what others think if I'm going to die in 1 week? I'm going to be myself. The angel of death can teach us to live every day as if it's the last day of our life, as if there may be no tomorrow. We can begin each day by saying, I'm awake. I see the sun. Whenever we live in the dream of the planet, it is as if we are dead. Whoever survives the initiation of the dead receives the most wonderful gift, the resurrection. To receive the resurrection is to arise from the dead, to be alive, to be ourselves again. The resurrection is to be like a child, to be wild and free, but with a difference. The difference is that we have freedom with wisdom instead of innocence. If we surrender to the angel of death, we will be happy forever and ever. Why? Because the angel of death takes the past away in order to make it possible for life to continue. Let's end with that. The old shit does not serve us. We are carrying all this fucking pain. We are carrying our wounds into our present, and whatever source, whatever force, whatever belief system you possess, whatever thing is, whatever you pray to, whatever you use to have some kind of positivity in your life, some kind of faith, I'm going to use the word God. My God does not want me to live in shit. My God does not want me to live in depression. My God does not want me to live in darkness. And my God does not want me around toxic people and things. My orishas, my guardians, my ancestors, they have kept me alive today because I have incredible gifts to share. I am here for a purpose. And so every single day, I need to be waking up saying, what is my purpose? Now, I messed up yesterday. I was not impeccable. I was downright mean to someone that I love because, I see certain women when it comes to men as weak because that's an old Alicia wound, being taken advantage by men or being with people who used me, abused me, violated me, didn't love me, didn't respect me. And so when I see someone in my life going through the same shit, yeah, it's going to take me back. But I have to trust that my God, the God that has lifted me, the God that has pulled off the blinders from my eyes, will do the same for her, for them. I have to trust that. And so here we are. I understand that I am in recovery. So every single day is an opportunity for me to be the best version of me and to begin again and do better and work harder and love myself more fully. What I understand to be true about those of us who accept less than what we deserve is that we don't love ourselves. When we are in relationships or situations that are abusive and dishonoring, and we stay there, it is because we don't love ourselves. Because a person who fully loves themselves will never settle for shit. It is that simple. It sounds cliche and people can argue that, but I'm telling you, when you are someone who knows, I am worthy of all that is good, shit that is not good cannot be in my fucking path. You cannot be in my life. You got to go. So sorry. I can send you prayers. I can send you with love, but you can't be in my life. Things that are no good for me cannot be in my life. That is who I am today. That is what my recovery requires. And so I still have a lot of forgiveness work to do because for as peace-filled as I can be, I'm angry about a lot of things, and I have held on to some things. And so that's cool because today is an opportunity to let some of that go. So with that, let's meditate. Sit comfortably. Put your hands where you need them, on your knees, on your throat, on your heart, wherever you're comfortable. Take some deep breaths in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing. What needs to die? What old wound? What wound are you walking with that you know needs to die once and for all? That doesn't serve you, that you've been carrying for just way too long, that you know is poisoning every part of you. What is it? I feel it in my chest. My chest is getting tight. You've named it. Okay, you've named it. You've identified it. Now imagine yourself standing in a cemetery, digging a hole 6 feet deep. And you're digging and you're digging and you're digging with so much strength and so much fury. And you're taking that thing and you are throwing it in the hole, and you're throwing all the dirt in, all of it, over it. And you keep throwing it and you're releasing it and you're saying all the reasons why you're releasing it. And I'm letting this go because, and I'm letting this go because, and I'm letting this go because. Pat that shit down in the dirt, yo. Now imagine the resurrection. Imagine yourself fully living in the truest version of you. What does she look like? What does he look like? What does that look like? That strength, that beauty. What are you wearing? What does your hair look like? What does your face look like? What does your posture look like? How are you moving? How are you walking? How are you speaking? Who are you allowing to come around you? I felt that too. I got me a small little fucking tribe walking by me. I'm sorry. When you're ready, come out of meditation. So, yo. What do I need to allow to die? The abuse. All of the abuse. And my issues with men. I'm not there yet. But that's the thing. That's what I need to bury. And so I will figure that out. But what my resurrection looks like? Shit. I am fierce. I am fierce. I am strong. My hair is out, curls. I'm dressed in all white, a beautiful flowy skirt with pockets because I love having my hands in my pockets, and I'm barefoot and I'm surrounded by flowers, and it's a beautiful Caribbean sun, because I got to say Caribbean because it may not necessarily be the Dominican Republic, because there are a lot of, islands that I would love to live at. And I'm free. With my resurrection is liberation. And so with that, let us close. Let's set an intention. My intention for today is to release all judgment and to trust that those that I love are always guided and protected. I'm wishing you all the most amazing, amazing day. Follow me on Instagram, the Afro Latina Show. And I'm on Twitter as Diosa Dominicana. And if you want to email me, it's info.aliciaanabel@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram as Alicia La Santera. And I'm just wishing you all the most incredible, incredible day. Follow me on iTunes, SoundCloud, leave your reviews, subscribe on YouTube. Y nada. Peace, peace. Bye, my loves. My Instagram family. Have a beautiful day.